What's up, world? It's your man Slim Jim Longfoot, aka the GOAT, King of America. Welcome to another dope day. We still alive, we still breathing, even though they try to stop us. You feel me? They try to make sure we don't breathe, but guess what? We're gonna destroy this system once and for all. You know what I'm saying? Stay the course, stay the path, because this system ain't right. This system needs to be reborn. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. You know what the vibes are. Welcome to this new day. Some of y'all might already be in on June the 7th. But for me, where I'm at, East Coast time, it is June the 6th, 2020. Welcome to day 95 of Diabetes and I. The daily vlog that I do to let y'all know how I'm doing with, you know what I'm saying, my type 2 diabetes. You know what I'm saying? For those new to the channel, um, um, got type 2 diabetes. I was diagnosed with it, or they said that I had it, or however you want to call it. Back on February 27th this year. Spent a few days in the hospital. Got released on March the 3rd, and the day after, March the 4th, my first full day back home. That's when I started this journey right here. That's when I started this daily vlog series on my channel, which mostly consists of art videos, but of course now this of course has joined the battle as well, especially since they've been daily, and now we're on day 95, 5 days from 100. How about that? When I first did these videos, I didn't think that I was going to be consistent with these videos, because I was like, do I really want to devote this much time into making videos, saying every day? Because I'm a behind the scenes type dude. I ain't trying to be all up in y'all face like this, you feel me? But I had the experience of being on live broadcasting. So, I did a lot of live broadcasting apps over the past 4 years, starting with the Live Me app and continuing on from there. And I seldom do them now because I really don't care for them like that anymore, because I want to focus more of my time on my art. So therefore, I backed up off of that. But since this had happened to me, you know, I figured there was more people that this was happening to, that wasn't educated on food correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we knew what to eat when we were younger. Like, your parents said, eat your vegetables, all that jazz. But, when we got grown, we just like, F it, I'm going to eat what I want to eat, because I like it. And, of course, when you eat too much of the wrong thing, especially when it comes to processed sugars and, so many carbs, pasta, this, that, and the third, you know, you everybody has a different body. And so everybody's body, it sees a limit eventually. I didn't think I was going to ever see no limit, but, I did see the limit as far as how much I was putting into myself. It's kind of like, you know, if you keep putting hot sauce in something, eventually it's gonna be hot, right? So I kept on putting sugar and carbs in my body, and eventually it was gonna tank or crash the wrong way, and that's what of course eventually happened. So what I'm about to do right now, I'm about to check my blood sugar for this morning, as always. For those who followed me back in the early days of this thing here, y'all know I used to do my before check, before I came on camera, because I had so much to do when I first came on camera. Like, I had to check my blood sugar, and then I had to, shoot myself up with my 12-hour shot, and then my before breakfast shot, because I took insulin 4 times a day during that time. But now that I'm off of the insulin, you know what I'm saying, I'm cooling. I'm cooling right now, and everything's been, breezy. So all I gotta do is just check my blood sugar 3 times a day. A lot of people check their blood sugar like 500 times a day. They check it before they eat, after they eat, before a snack, after a snack, and all that stuff. I ain't got it like that. So I'm gonna check it 3 times a day, and that's how I do. You know what I'm saying, to regulate myself and watch what I eat. You know what I'm saying, throughout that day. You know what I'm saying, and in between, my meals, to see where I'm at before, I get ready to get my meal on. All that extra checking, if you got test strips like that, then more power to you. I ain't got test strips like that. So, you know. Plus, I don't like stabbing myself like that either. So, three times a day is enough for me as far as stabbing myself. You know, my fingers look like old pin cushions at this point. And Lord knows I hate it, but it's a necessary thing to do to make sure that you are a-okay. You feel me? Like I ain't seen this much blood on out of me in these past 90 some odd days than before in my life. But I'd rather see blood like this way than any other type of way. That's for sure. And so to start off this morning, my blood sugar is at 102, y'all. It's at 102 for this morning, 10:06 a.m. June the 6th. That's where we at right now. Starting off this day 95, this Saturday. And I'm about to give y'all the readings for yesterday. Let y'all know what I grubbed on last night and what I plan on grubbing on today. I'm still not really for certain what I plan on grubbing on today. As a matter of fact, did I write down what I ate last night? I don't think I did, but I'm gonna tell y'all what I ate in a second though. But it's 10:06 a.m. right now, so I've been trying to get a little earlier with my breakfasts because, of course, you know, this is going to be another premiere at noon today. So, you know, I want to try to, you know, make sure I, you know, have this already ready for y'all by the time noon hit. So, all right. For breakfast yesterday, of course, I ate my oatmeal, cinnamon and raisins. For lunch yesterday, I had the remainder of my cheddar broccoli rice with some baked sliced ham, and cucumbers. That's what I had for lunch yesterday. For dinner, I wanted to do something different for dinner last night. I still ended up eating my chef salad like I planned, but I had a taste for some brown rice, and so I did some experimenting last night. So I know what to do next time I do it. Last night I tried to fry some brown rice in olive oil, and I had some cucumbers in with it too. But it didn't really come out how I wanted it to. And when I fried it, you know what I'm saying, of course it got too hard, and then I ended up you know, cooking the rice how I normally cook brown rice. So next time I try to fry some rice, I'm gonna cook it first, and then I'm gonna fry it. So that's what I did as far as that go. And so with the brown rice, I put some teriyaki sauce on it, and the cucumbers and the brown rice. And I had that as a side dish along with my chef salad, which of course consisted of my sliced ham and turkey, tomatoes. I put a whole tomato in that thing. I had a big tomato. I put a whole tomato in that thing. Um, Cucumbers, baby carrots, you know, lettuce, of course, apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, lemon pepper, bacon bits, and Cali French dressing. That was my chef salad. And this morning, I got an interesting combination because I got my cucumbers here on the side with remainder of my sliced ham right here is my sliced baked ham and a waffle from Waffle House. With some sugar-free syrup that I'm getting ready to put on this thing. I know y'all like cucumbers. Good boy, you love some cucumbers now. Yeah, it's funny. I do love cucumbers now. And for those that know me, know I did not like cucumbers before, really before this year. But I first finally started understanding liking the benefit of cucumbers 3 years ago. Shout outs to my old friend G, who introduced me to, you know, putting cucumbers in water, and the water tasted so good with the cucumbers in it. It's been a while since I had some cucumber water. I'm gonna have to do that eventually again. And also, y'all, if you haven't already, of course, to regulate your blood sugar, and just you overall in general, make sure that you have some apple cider vinegar with mother, mix some turmeric in it, some water, and boom. If you don't really like the taste of apple cider vinegar, at least try the turmeric. Have your turmeric and water. Of course, me, I like both, so I got my apple cider vinegar with the mother, the turmeric, and the water. Boom, boom, boom. You feel me? If you don't know what the benefits of turmeric can do, just look it up. Google that thing, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what we all here for, to learn and to learn about things. You feel me? Say my grace real quick. So, of course, this has become a mukbang video. Mm-hmm. To an extent. Y'all know the vibes that's going on in the world, which is long overdue. All of this should have been settled 20 some odd years before I was born. But guess what? That's why we here now. We here to go ahead and set this thing straight. So if you believe in equality for all, if you believe in taking down a system that continues to be a system of hypocrisy and prejudice and systematic racism, then make sure you comment below. I support the cause. Or hashtag Black Lives Matter. Whichever way you want to do. You know what I'm saying? To just say that you support the cause, that you are about, you know what I'm saying, everybody having a right to live. Yesterday was the young lady, Breonna Taylor's birthday, who was killed earlier this year. She was an EMS worker in this COVID-19 epidemic, and was killed at her home by four. I'm not gonna say the number because I'm not certain on the number off the top of my head, but she was killed by some murderers whose occupation happens to be in law enforcement, and they have still not been charged with her murder. I mean, they killed this woman for no daggone reason. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day. I can't remember if I did or didn't. But Yasmin Jackson, the niece of Michael Jackson, the legendary entertainer Michael Jackson, she was repeatedly stabbed the other day by a woman who came at her with a knife, yelling, "Die N-word." A white woman came at her and slashing her face up, slashing her head up. I'm so glad she didn't get her eyes or anything like that. When I first heard about it, from Michael Trapson's page. Michael Trapson, the awesome entertainer, MJ lover, and impersonator, who's done a lot of great videos over the years, starting off with Billie Jean and Dab. He first mentioned it on his channel, and that's when I went over to her Instagram page because I follow her. I've communicated with her before. You know what I'm saying? I dig her and her mom, Giovanni. You know what I'm saying? And they are awesome. Like, I remember when I first found out about Giovanni back when I was in college, starting off in college, and was finally was on the internet like that, because I'm a big Jackson fan, and so I found out about Giovanni back in the early 2000s. And I always wanted to know how she was doing, and so of course when the net age came, when Instagram and all that came, I looked her up and befriended her, and befriended her daughter Yasmin. We don't know each other like that, but we cordially talk to each other, whatnot like that. And I drew a picture of Yasmin one time, and she loved the picture. So I wish her well on recovering, because this is going to be something that affects her for the rest of her life, because someone who she don't know came at her and was trying to kill her just because she's black. You know what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. Really ridiculous. I mean, I hope that woman gets life in prison. I mean, me, myself, personally. I mean, especially if I had been there, she won't have to worry about life in prison, because she would have been dead. Straight up. I have no remorse on saying that. I don't care. I mean, if you're a racist and you want to act out on being racist and come at people just because of the hue of their skin, just because they're melanated, you need to kill yourself. And anybody who got a problem with me saying that, I don't care. So, with that being said, this has to end. This has to stop. We have to be the generation to end this. 40 years from now, 50 years from now. In 40 years, it will be the 2060s. In the 1860s was the American Civil War. 1960s was the American Civil Rights Movement. By the time the 2060s get here, which is in 40 years from now will be the 2060s. Most of us will either be dead or old as crap by then. I know what I'll be 80 years old in the year 2060. So, you know, I'm gonna be old. I'm not even really gonna care about what's going on by that point in history, but I care now because I know that regardless of what is coming, my nephews and nieces, and eventually, if I finally have some kids, they will be living in that time. If I have a kid this year or the next year, they will be near my age now in the 2060s. That will be their time. My nephew now, my oldest, well, not my oldest nephew, but my oldest blood nephew, but either way it goes, my nephew, my great nephew, my birthday twin, he is 12 years old now. He'll be 13 this year. So in 40 years, he'll be 53. You know, he'll be the age his grandmama, my sister, will be this year because she'll be 53 this year. So he'll be, well, right as of right now, 40 years from now, he'll be 52 going on 53. So he'll be her same age as she is right now, 52 going on 53. So in the year 2060, that's his time. And that's his lifetime. He'll be an older man then, of course, but that's still his time. And so we have to fight and do right for these kids now and those young people who will be living in this world in the 2060s. Because those coming of age in the 2060s who will be 20 years old that year, they'll be born in the year 2040, so they still got another 20 years of until, you know what I'm saying, they're alive. You know, they'll be the kids of the kids that are kids now. You know, they'll be the generation 100 years after the baby boomers, after the crazy people who are still clinging on to power right now and clinging on to this old system that they grew up in that benefited them. Talking about you, Cheeto. But we got to end this. We got to end this for the future, because the days of racism is gone. Y'all already see he ain't paying dividends. Why keep it up? What's the point? What are you really afraid of? Because at the end of the day, we all human. The shade of my skin, the wideness of my nose, the fullness of my lips shouldn't make you fear me. It should make you love me. Same as I want to love you. Simple as that. We living in peace. What's going on in your mind to have you at such disdain? Like that chicken that in the park in New York, I have zero remorse for her. I think I hate her more than I hate the woman who lied on Emmett Till. Because of the simple fact, she actually sat up there, stood there, and was on camera saying this man was attacking her. When he's recording, and you clearly see that he ain't doing nothing except recording her and telling her to put her dog on a leash, which is what she's supposed to do in that park. So that right there, stuff like that, that stuff irks me. See, that's why I can't be involved in stuff like that, because I'm a little high-headed, and so much talking I'm gonna do. This is as much talking as you'll see me do, because I'm right here. But if it's in my face, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Ain't no more time for talking. It's time for action. Because, you know, Nat Turner's one of my heroes. Meantime, between time, enjoy this life. Love this life. And for those out there protesting, please be careful. Because I feel like they set all this up just so they can spread that Rona a little bit farther. Because while y'all out there protesting, all somebody got to do is walk by and say, coronavirus. And there you go. So remember, it is man-made, y'all. And so somebody got it made and ready to spray. Stay blessed up. One love.